Hello.
Good afternoon, Wooly. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. I'm currently enjoying the day after cabane à sucre.
Oh, how's your tummy?
Yeah. I haven't hit the system with that much maple syrup in a very long time. It's kind of sickening how much is ingested. Um
So, to those of you who don't speak French, which is 99.9% of this audience, cabane à sucre is a Quebec tradition, which roughly translates to sugar shack,
mhm.
which is where you go out into the country, you get a bunch of good ass breakfast food, and you just douse the whole fucking thing with maple syrup.
Homer with the propane,
Just
all of
um,
it.
just fuck it up. Just
So,
you're eating a full breakfast out of a puddle of sugar.
yeah. Um, so basically, the syrup maple places farms up in the wooded areas and stuff. When they make a whole bunch of syrup, you got to figure out how to make byproducts and you got to figure out how to make your land worth it. What can you do? And they make maple butter, which is incredible. They make all kinds of things, and then they have usually a giant kind of barn area where you'll have multiple school trips. I've had twice as a kid, I remember.
I've had two or three, yeah.
Yeah, and you have everyone kind of come up. You can just also book and go there as a restaurant thing, but it's like a dinner that takes place all at the same time, one giant like mess hall,
A
and then
banquet.
giant banquet hall, and you sign up to go and sit at one of the many tables, and then yeah, they bring out breakfast for dinner essentially,
Yeah.
and everything is just doused in syrup, and then at the table, if there's not enough for you, you take like a pitcher of juice, except it's not juice, it's just syrup, and
It's
it's
just
and
syrup.
it's there for you to pour even more on everything you eat. What the fuck are you doing? You drinking coffee? You better pour syrup in that coffee. You're having your ham, you're having your potatoes, you're having
You know, I was
whatever.
just thinking about this the other day about how the natives who got here first, right?
Hmm.
We're truly given like a blessed piece of land by God more than almost anywhere else in the world because nowhere else does candy literally grow on
Grows on
trees.
trees. Grows on trees. Yeah. And then once you've had your insane syrupy breakfast dinner thing, you have your pudding chômeur for dessert, which is the poor man's pudding essentially,
It's
and
good.
it's amazing. It's such a misnomer for how good it is. It's the most basic like cake mix. It's just basic cake mix, and then brown sugar underneath it, and those two together warm is unbelievably good. And yeah, that was like it was named as such for it being like kind of ghetto pudding. Um,
Yeah.
and then after your first dessert, you got to go have your second dessert, which is outside where you do your tire sur la neige. You
Yeah,
know,
just fucking throw some fucking maple syrup on the fucking snow. It's
yes.
candy now.
So that you guys might have seen or heard because it's the most like what the fuck are they doing weird one, but it's like you have syrup and you just pour it on snow, and
And now
then
it's candy.
it cools down a little bit, and then you stick a popsicle stick in it, and now you got candy. Exactly.
That's it. It's toffee right there. Bam, done.
Yeah, and yeah, that stuff. Like again, it's usually pretty good considering I haven't had this much sugar in my system for a long time. It was a bit
So it
much
must have
for
blown
me.
your shit off. Just
Blue.
ugh.
Yep. Like fucking Murphy. Just a little bit, like RoboCop. But and then you go into to either. Well, when I was a kid, it was like then you get on the horse ride, and then they do a little
Yeah, you get on the
tour
buggy
around the
and go through
thing.
a farm or some shit.
In our case, it was a pretty sad horse, and it was just watching the horse poop as it walked down the road, and it was pretty sad. And this time around, it was
Sometimes you pet some goats or
yeah,
something.
there's a little petting zoo thing, and you in there, and there's some animals, and you can feed them and stuff, and then of course we have to be checking it out right behind the fucking douchebag mid-20s kids who think it's hilarious to pretend to feed something and then take it away. So it's like, oh, hey, goat, and the
That's a
goat's
good
like,
way for a fucking goat to bite you.
you
Goats will
fucking
bite
piece
you.
of shit, get back here. And then the horse like, and I'm just like, I swear to God, like, please lose a limb. Like,
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because farm animals don't work on the same sets of like social conditions that like a pet does. So if I was walking Zangief the dog out, right, and somebody went whoa, 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 and got in his face and like Zangief bit him, the dog would have to go, right? You can't have a dog that bites strangers on the street, right? But if somebody was like fucking with your goat at the farm and the goat bit their finger right off, they'd be like, yeah, don't touch the goats.
I mean, it's wild. Like, and they're all on top of that. They're already clearly petted out, you know. So they're doing like the pet thing for the head, and like that, like the horse is like trying to get away from his hand. He's like, literally, leave me alone. And the stupid fucking kids are just like, ah. And then like, and it'd be one thing if you're talking about like, I don't know, some single age digit child, and then their parent is like, hey,
7-year-old.
hey, Danielle, I have to see, you know, whatever. But it's not that. These are like a group of bros, you know, again, like probably mid-20s or so, just laughing at each other as they're fucking around with it. And it's just like, you're the worst.
There is no grander example of a person's personality than how they treat creatures or people who don't have the ability to defend themselves either socially or physically.
Exactly.
The way somebody treats a waiter at a restaurant, the way somebody treats a cat at like a shelter, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's the shopping cart test for a living being.
Yeah.
Right? There's no consequence for treating
cart test is some fucking stupid 4chan meme. And
yeah.
It's incredible. It's amazing.
But it's like, when no one's looking, do you put the shopping cart back in its thing, or do you just roll it and let it hit another car and walk away? Right. And so if there's no consequence for treating these petting zoo animals like shit, are you the kind of person that's going to do it anyway? Because lol, you know, or worse yet, yo, check out how funny this is, guys, look, you should do it too, etc. While also, again, giving non-consensual pets, you know, when it's actively trying to get away. It was super annoying.
Hey, listen, man, all I'm gonna say is that the San Diego Zoo tiger,
yeah, exactly
was that had a point.
That was a hell of a leap. Hell of a leap to draw a conclusion there. Yeah. No, it's exactly that. And that like poke it with a stick kind of like mentality as well. That I don't know. I got properly bummed out by that right quick, and I was like, okay, I think I've had enough of this little. Yeah,
I saw a raccoon just hanging out on my fucking in my backyard, like 3 feet from my back door when I was out there doing something. And Paige saw the raccoon. She said, "Oh my God, a raccoon! What if it tries to break into the house?" I'm like, "Honey, the raccoon is not going to try and break into. The raccoons don't break into your house." Also, it wasn't garbage day, so the raccoon was chill.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, they would know.
Raccoons are really friendly 6 days of the week, and that other day.
But yeah, so usually as spring comes around, that's one of those traditions. Exactly. I haven't gone since like school though, like elementary school and shit.
In a while.
And I kind of remember too that like, yeah, so especially for me back then, it was a big old waste of time, because when they'd bring out plates of, here's a giant thing of eggs, here's a giant thing of ham, here's a bunch of bacon, and here's some peas and beans and stuff. And I was like, I literally want none of this. I'll just poke at these potatoes and call it a day. But yeah, this time around, you know, again, I was able to enjoy it.
I mean, hey man, if you're like unhappy, you can just always fall back on just throw a bunch of ham on this fucking plate.
Exactly. Or okay, so this was one I somehow missed as far as like Quebec traditional things go. I didn't know about the pork spread. Do you know that stuff? It starts with a C.
I forget the name of it.
CH?
I don't particularly care for it.
Yeah, it's sure something. I don't know. And I was like, what the fuck?
I fucking forget.
Yeah, there's this, but it's like, it's pretty good. It's pretty tasty.
My grandma would offer it, and I'd be like, no thanks, grandma. And she'd be like, oh yeah, pate.
It's not, but
That's it.
it's not pate. It's the word they had for it is a different word.
Yeah.
But the consistency is like pate. No, if you're not from Quebec, you're not going to know the word for
It's
this.
ham in a butter
Creton,
form.
merci, c'est creton. Creton. Yep, that's it.
But creton is an existing. No, I'm thinking of croutons.
Not croutons. Cretons. Yeah, creton.
Anyway, yeah, it's a fucking ham spread. It's like ham if ham was peanut butter.
And I didn't know that was a thing, and I had someone else like, yeah, all right, that's pretty good. I can see.
That's fine. I'm not a big fan.
I can see, like, again, old French people sitting around just being like that's how you pass your time in retirement, is spreading creton on
Yeah, and
various,
smoking.
yeah, with your May West and your Pepsi. Yeah, no, it was not that was all right too. So all in all, not bad. But I guess just the yeah, like the level of like I like the diabetes demon inside is like, oh, are you summoning
like horrible
me?
nightmares?
It can, yes, it does. The way
How'd you sleep?
the way I was okay, but the way you fight it is with like you chug water. Essentially, if you chug water, you dilute all of that. But no, that demon is awakened by the maple. But yeah, no, that was cool, and I'm gonna be just like going through this syrup fog for the next couple days, I think.
Yeah, it's not a sugar high the same way, and because it affects your sugar differently. Maple syrup, for some reason, affects your sugar differently rather than like sucrose or sucralose. But like, yeah, no, there's definitely a fog. There's definitely like a.
There's a little bit of that. Like there's almost like a hangover to it.
Yeah,
is the way I describe it. Yeah. And if you get the again maple butter, which it's exactly what it sounds like, but it's just incredible. Like, yeah, you know.
Me and Paige were having breakfast this morning, and we just had eggs and toast, like super simple breakfast, right? And we're putting butter on our toast, right? Like the simplest, most normal thing in the fucking world. And I'm sitting there and going like, man, it's so fucking bullshit that when I was a kid, butters fucks your shit up. Butter's terrible for you. Yeah. I lived in a margarine exclusive household.
Yeah.
Literally no butter. Every single thing was margarine.
We had margarine for years, but we switched over. There was a switch over that happened.
Well, because butter is bad for you, except it's not. Margarine's actually worse for you.
I mean, again, we've had that discussion multiple times, but it's like that and is milk good for you? Who the fuck knows?
Probably.
And yeah, the various degrees of like dairy and its effect on you and shit, just going back and forth.
I can tell you with an absolute certainty that non-pasteurized whole milk can be bad for you. I know Liver King might tell you that pasteurization removes the nutrients, but you know what else it might remove? Fucking cow and cholera. You don't want cholera, do you?
Well, that's not.
I don't want fucking cholera.
That's not a very primal attitude of you. How are you supposed to be alpha with that?
Dude looks like a human sunburn.
I feel as if that like just anyone that had to live through an era of like discovering things about foods that were unknown up until that point, that must suck, man. You know,
I don't know who to trust, man. I don't like. So Lunchables are fucking.
So I was about to say, like, there's always Lunchables. You can trust Lunchables.
Okay, so Lunchables are crock full of lead. Milk, it was bad for me. Then milk was good for me, and then milk, well, I don't know. And like, it reminds me of like one of Lewis Black's.
Is milk good for you or not? Yeah.
No, are eggs good for you?
Okay, because he had he had a bit about milk, and it's like, is it good? Is it not? It was, and then it wasn't. And
but he also had one like, are eggs good or bad? And the crowd just goes, like, I have watched eggs flip flop like 5 times since I was a child.
Welcome to post-truth politics, bro.
I don't.
That's
I
where,
don't fucking care for it.
that's where we
Man.
live, dude. There's no way to know. That's all disinformation and on Lunchables, who, the Lunchables company stands by the brand. Like, no matter what never mind the reports of the lead or anything, they stand by, then they confidently support the
Bro,
brand.
you
So,
want to have a good time, type in like, hey, I'm thinking of getting this stroller or car seat or whatever, and you type in the company name for your baby product, and like invariably a news article about the lawsuit over a would-be recall comes out. Like invariable. To the point where you have to be like, well, this article about a lawsuit is 8 years old. That's pretty far away. They probably fixed all the and you just
yeah, that's that's bad. That I don't even know where to go from that, because it's like, okay, so what is there a, like, the recall, is that a specific type of product, or is that to all of them?
Stroller reviews, and there was one where it's like there was a lawsuit against a fucking company because the fucking wheels in 2013 would fly off the stroller, and some babies fell all the way out of the stroller and broke bones.
Wow. Okay.
And I'm just like, I just want to get a nice stroller.
Is it all of the EVs that are going to have the gas pedal that shoots off and then slides and creates a death trap? Or is it just the Cybertruck? Is it what kind of recall are we talking about here? Is it Tesla-wide, or is it just the little groove underneath the Cybertruck gas pedal?
I am like,
what's the level of recall we're talking about, guys?
I'm so obsessed with the Cybertruck, dude. I follow a guy on TikTok who his entire account is, okay, so this Cybertruck flipped over in a pothole. This going 15 miles an hour. It somehow totally inverted itself. Or my personal favorite, driving along after its delivery, and every light in the world starts flashing on the inside, goes pull over immediately, and the acceleration doesn't turn off.
Just wanted a thing that didn't get stupid on the gas. That's all I want. That's all. I'm one of those people that's like, yeah, when I get into the game and when I'm getting into driving and all that shit, I want something that's more battery oriented than fucking gas oriented. And I'm like,
hey, listen, man, the best part about the Cybertruck is that it is the Xbox 360 of trucks in regards to its exterior chassis, because you can't let it get wet.
Yeah, the rust,
because it's stainless steel with no primer on it. So like every Cybertruck in the world is gonna look like a rusted brown fucking butter knife by next year.